I do a lot of talking to a lot of people around the country and around the world, either by counseling, by meeting them when I'm out and about, or just talking to families and friends. And the one thing that I've noticed in today's America is that there is no desire to suffer from within, to overcome that fallen state. And unless you're willing to suffer, and suffer with joy, meaning don't complain or run away from it, whine about it, you will never be free. You will never be free. Even according to the scriptures, it says to count it all joy when tribulation come. Tribulations work as patience in your life. And because we are all born in sin, meaning that we were born into crazy families where fathers and mothers are out of control. They are not perfect parents as they should be. And so they cause you, especially with the mother, they cause you to fall away from innocence into hell, into their angry state of being, which is hatred. And you're not born that way, but you're made to be that way because you have imperfect parents. And so you're born into sin by becoming angry. And it is possible to come out of the womb that way if the mother is angry during pregnancy. She's hated the father, she's hated herself and others. She is overreacting to situations. Then you can be born that way because you can be traumatized in the womb. And it's because most people don't understand that anger is evil. It's hatred. It's evil. Anger is evil. And evil runs deep than what you can even imagine. And it can corrupt the entire body, mind, and soul. So when a woman is pregnant and she's angry, it can literally traumatize the child in the womb. That's why you must overcome the spirit of anger. It is evil. It destroys. And so when you're raised by mothers who are angry and fathers who are either unwilling or can't stand up to your mother, his wife or girlfriend, whatever it might be, and correct her, stand between the children, then this evil is passed on from generation to generation. But as adults, we have a responsibility, if we want to be free, to overcome that, because you can overcome it. There's nothing in life that you cannot overcome. And so in that fallen state, which means turn away from the Father, and as a result, turn away from God, you're in a fallen state, you're really in hell on earth. And so you find yourself getting into all kinds of things in order to thinking that it may bring you peace. And it never does, never will, absolutely cannot. Material people, places, and things cannot bring peace to you. It only comes from God. And only God can forgive as you forgive, meaning you apologize for resenting, playing God. And so in that fallen state, we get into stupid stuff, relationships, and all kinds of things. And then eventually you lose your things, people, places, things, and you have conflict. It feels like you lose your life, whatever's important to you, and you lose it, right? In relationships, or you lose your money, or so-called friends, it feels like you, like death to you almost. And what I want to say to you is that when that happens, and you feel the pain of the loss, whatever it might be, you must learn to endure that pain without whimpering and whining and complaining about it. Keep it to yourself and quietly endure it so that you may overcome it and never have to go through that again. Because it took the place of God, the true God, even though it's the fake God, it pretended to be God. And it gave you temporary happiness. You thought it was peace. I see it a lot when these guys are breaking up with these girls. And the guys feel like, especially if the girl leaves, he feels like he lost his God, like life is over. When in reality, life is just beginning. And the reason that you feel like it's over, you want to sit by the dock of the bay, is because you made that woman your God. And the reason you made her your God because you resent your mothers and or grandmothers in some cases. When you do, the woman become your God. And when you lose it, it's like you're losing God. You lose your life. From now on, guys, and I've been through that. I know what that feels like. I've been through that in the fallen state. But I didn't know, like I know now, that I was supposed to quietly endure that, not reach out for another woman, not replace it with fake friends or money or anything, but to quietly go about my life and endure that and then get over it and return to the true God. And so, guys, you need to not chase the woman if you break up with her or she break up with you. And the pain that you feel is a sign of you made her your God. And if you run to another woman, then you're making that your God and prolonging your death. Meaning that you're going to have to keep repeating it until you finally learn the lesson or just cave in and be controlled or beat up and all that kind of stuff. So you got to learn, especially millennial guys today, you got to learn to endure. Endure. It's okay. It feels like you're dying, but it's not you. It's the ego in you that was passed on through you, to you through your mother, from your mother. And if you let that ego die, then you shall live, really. And I want to encourage you guys, as adult males, you got to go to your mothers and grandmothers and start speaking up. And don't be afraid. And you're going to feel fear at the beginning because, you know, she's been such a tyrant in what seemed like a nice ways, in some ways, family, and some mother just outwardly controlling. But it's not normal to be afraid of your mothers. It's a sign of resentment. And whomever can cause you to resent them, they control you. They control you. So learn to speak up, and you will get past that. And if the mothers overreact to you speaking up, just observe her overreaction, carry it on, trying to make you feel guilty in an attempt to control you and not let you go free. And doesn't want to admit that she's wrong, but you speak up anyway and just watch it. It's not personal. She literally cannot help it. She's not ready to admit that she's wrong, but you will go free. You will go free. And forgive her. Just realize she can't help it. She's done the best that she can do. And I totally understand it, been there too. But once you forgive your mothers, speak up. Forgive your mothers. You would never be afraid to speak up and deal with life with anyone, male nor female, rich or poor, whatever color. You get your courage back when you deal with your mothers and grandmothers so you can overcome the anger and then deal with them without the anger. Then you can deal with the world because God is with you and he will take that fear away from you. I can't tell you the number of adult males in all races so far who are afraid to deal with their mothers and or grandmothers. They'll rather suffer than to go and face their mothers and grandmothers. Not understanding it's because they resent her. She's made them that way by imposing her will and taking your courage away. But if you want to be free, you must go and forgive, and God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness, but apologize for resenting. And I'm telling you, you will go free. It's amazing. And you will have a peaceful life, and you will see that in all that you deal with, it's a battle between good and evil. It's not about color. It's not about race. It's not about man or woman, male or female. It's not about what you have or don't have, where you live or don't live. It's about good versus evil. We are a spirit living in a body. We are not our body. We live in the body, but we are a spirit dealing with other spirits of this world, inside of other people. It's outside, but it's make a home inside others. And I'm telling you, God is with you if you do that. And you will grow back into him. And you will see what you're dealing with. And it wouldn't be personal. You wouldn't be bothered by it. You wouldn't take it personally because you would see that that person or those people are filled with evil. They can't help it. It's not personal. And so you won't take it personal. He will renew your mind. He will cause you to be in the world but not of it, meaning that you would make people, places, and things your God. You wouldn't be so easily deceived by the world. It's so amazing. Everything you're looking for, everything you desire, everything you need is within you. A new commandment is within you. It's not in a book. It's not in some dumb university. It's not in the schools. It's in you. So if someone tell you to look here or there for the kingdom, they're lying to you. Look within. Get to know yourself. It is mind-blowing, really. It's a love that's beyond expression. That's why you can really reflect on it sometime and just appreciate it. Because there are no words to express it. So stop judging yourself and others. And when you're in that fallen state, you're going to do dumb things. You can't help it. It's not even your fault because you're not in control. You're not in control in the fallen state, and you're not in control once you overcome the fallen state. In that fallen state, meaning they turning away from the Father, you're controlled by evil. You're influenced by evil. And when you overcome that, you're influenced by good. So knowing that that's the case, why judge yourself? God is not judging you. And never mind what others think. They can't judge. They need to look at their own lives, right? And just wish them well if they do judge you. But this is a spiritual battle. Look within, go and forgive, and live from within. You can read the Bible till the cows come home. You can get as many Bible degrees or whatever they call them, bishop, pastor, evangelist, preacher, teacher, whatever. Or in the secular world, PhDs, SAD, doctor, lawyer, whatever degree, counselor, whatever, psychiatrist, you're still a dummy. You're dumb. And Satan is your daddy. It doesn't get you, quote unquote, saved at all. It just makes you worse because it builds the ego. If really you need to look within. I am fortunate in that God awakened me and brought me back to Him. And I am able to deal with, through counseling and other, with people around the world on a daily basis. And it's the same spirit everywhere. And Satan is deceiving, making people think it's something else. Or you need a better job. Or you need this or that. Or you need this. Or it's racism. Or it's all that crap. It's not. It's spiritual. It's a battle between good and evil. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you shall be free. And you will quietly grow into righteousness. Because once you forgive, you have the Spirit of the Father in you. And He will make the change. He will cause you to return to the keeping the commandments of loving God with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else or anyone else, and love your neighbor as yourself. He would cause that to happen because we cannot make anything happen, really. And He would cause you to overcome words, to overcome what people think or say of you, about you, or what you think about others. In that fallen state, you no longer, once you overcome that fallen state, you no longer judge your fellow man. He will cause you to overcome alcohol and drugs and being a lesbian or homosexual or liar or thief or murderer, whatever you went into as a result of trying to survive in that fallen state. So practice suffering without judging yourself. You're not dying, you will live. The ego will die, and the real you will become alive. You will come back to yourself as you were before you were turned away from the Father. And this is for men and women, male and females. You must forgive because all females are not themselves either until they overcome mama and return to the Father. Then you shall become yourself again, and you will love being a woman, not in competition with man, not jealous of men, but loving your position as a woman, as a daughter of God. Really. And whatever His will is for you, it shall be done. So when you find yourself in situations or you do dumb stuff, don't judge yourself. And it doesn't mean you're accepting it as a right. You're just not judging yourself because you cannot help yourself. God is not judging you, so why should you? All right? But start enduring. Endure. And don't blame anyone for the stupid mistakes you make in that fallen state. Because they're responsible for what they do, in that they can't blame you, and you can't blame them. Endure the pain. And men, It is abnormal. It's not your natural state of being to be all emotional, looking for some female, anyone to take care of you, not believing that you can't make it on your own. You can make it without a woman. And your parents has and had a responsibility to be that perfect example for you while growing up. They should have taught you how to work and be responsible, and fathers should have been good examples of how to deal with your mothers and the world so you can see the right way to go. I can't tell you the number of parents, even some beta fathers and so-called stepfathers. They blame the children, adult children, for the way they are instead of the woman, the mother. And they know that the mother corrupted the kids and made them that way, but they won't say it because they're afraid of the mother. They're afraid of it too. They're married to their mother or living with the mothers. But it's not normal to be 18 and over and living with your parents. Something has gone wrong. Men are supposed to go out and be the light of the world and the salt of the earth. When I was growing up, it was known. It was just because men and women were closer to what was right during those days. And so they prepared their sons to go out and deal with the issues of life when they became adults. It just was the way it was. And at 18, you didn't think about, oh, I need to stay with my mama so I can make more money, so I can move. That's dumb. You go out, and if you have to get 2 jobs or 3 jobs, do it. It's not going to kill you. You'll become independent. You'll discover life like never before. You're not going to discover it living with mama. It's just not going to happen. I know men in their 60s now, and the mothers have pushed the daughters out of the home but kept the son and made them into the daughters. And now they hate the mother, they hate themselves, and they can't leave mama because the hatred has grown and gotten deeper. And the more you hate, the more that the mothers control you, and grandmothers. And they're stuck at home at 60 and over. I know I counsel with, at first it was like 1 or 2, now it's more. Because the more that the guys hear about what we're doing, they start to realize what happened. And mothers, you need to stop making your sons your boyfriends and husbands. I can't tell you the number of cases where the mother would get rid of the son's father before she would the son and make him her husband, make him responsible for her, or make him into a babysitter watching over the children while she's out lollygagging. All that stuff is evil. It's not love. It's evil. It's not the order of God. And it's no wonder evil is so in the forefront now. Transgender mess, men on girls' sports teams, and they're teaching human beings to hate one another in the so-called critical race thing. That's evil. And the blacks are pretending evil men and women are good, like George Floyd, an unemployed drug addict with a criminal record. Michael Brown and all those guys, thugs with no love, came from failing parents. And instead of saying to other people, hey, you need to raise your children, and telling the children this is not what you're supposed to do, the way you're supposed to be, they worship them as though they were good, decent people. It wasn't like that in the good old days, folks. The blacks are called the good evil and the evil good, and whites are afraid because they have no love. Because if they had true love, they would be honest with the blacks and others. It's no wonder our country is going to hell in a handbasket. I've never seen so much fear in all my born days. You're not supposed to have fear. Fear is of your daddy, Satan. It's not of God. And God loves us. He wouldn't let us live in fear. Perfect love casts out fear. So, guys, you need to start speaking up and getting away from home and live your life. It's okay if it's hard out there. And that's not a reason to run. And don't look for another mama to take care of you. You're supposed to bring the woman into your world, not go into her hell. And your world is supposed to be of peace. Her world is of hell, of fake peace. They call it happiness. That's not what you want. It doesn't last. It's not real. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.